All right. Good morning and good afternoon, wherever you are. You might not be in a morning place. I'm in a morning place. I'm still trying to wake up here. So I feel the morning energy. Um, Before we get too far into things, I do want to start with some breathing. I always feel, I mean, it's a little selfish, I have to admit, because I need it, but I figure we all need it. So we'll breathe together. And hopefully I'm just gonna, okay. All right. So wherever you are, if you can and want to close your eyes, feel free. If it's not something that feels good, then don't. But if you can, just drop your awareness into your body. When you can do that, you just lower your gaze, or like I said, if you want to close your eyes and just be present, you can. Good morning. And just taking a moment to connect. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do some breathing. We're going to do some connecting. And this is our way of starting because it's very centering, very grounding. It sets a container, creates a lot of really powerful energy for the week. And we need that right now. So let's just be honest. We need that. All right. So dropping in, allowing yourself to just feel where you are. And if you can close your eyes, closing your eyes. If you are in a place where there might be more going on, do your best to both be aware, but also take in what is yours to take in, and not to worry too much about doing things right or wrong. Just be with yourself. And again, dropping your awareness and bringing it down through your body, just noticing what you feel in your body, bringing that awareness down all the way down your legs, into your feet, and just kind of feeling the soles of your feet. If you're sitting down, maybe you can actually touch the soles of your feet, but if you're sitting in a chair or standing, just feeling the soles of your feet connecting with the earth, feeling that energy dropping down. If you want to drop the energy even further down into the center of the earth, you can. And just taking a moment now. And we're going to breathe in up from the earth, up through the soles of the feet, into the belly. And exhale when you're ready. Breathing in up through the soles of the feet, feeling that life force energy filling your belly. And exhaling when you're ready. Breathing in. Really breathing in, filling your belly. And exhaling. And on this next inhale, just inhale with just gratitude for yourself, for being here. Gratitude for those in your life that really are there with you. And on your exhale, just relaxing. On your next inhale, if it's your practice to acknowledge guides or angels, support from the other realms, ancestors, breathing in that gratitude for support. Filling your belly and exhaling. Perfect. Beautiful. All right. I like to start with that, as you know, because it is something we can do together. And as I said, it creates that beautiful sacred container. And sometimes it's a little hard to come back because we like it there. It's so relaxing, which is kind of the point, right? Okay, we're going to start from this place, and in this energy, we're going to start with some tarot cards. See, I'm learning how to say it according to the Oxford, or maybe it's the Cambridge. I think it was the Cambridge English Dictionary. All right, we're going to start with the Mother Peace card, just as our grounding and anchor card. Okay. I have a story with this card, but what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to get it in focus so you can have a focused experience here. Please just take a moment, notice what you notice. What is that card saying to you? What is it, how is the energy feel for you? Notice any details you might want to notice. Yeah, and just enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment, which maybe could be possibility of what that card might mean. There's lots of possibilities. Technically, it is the Daughter of Cups for those of you that are kind of keeping track of the tarot part. All right. I love that card. And it is an interesting card because of the colors and the waterfall, the turtle, the bull. Yeah, it's a really powerful card. So again, gotta get it all the way there and then bring it back. Oh, come on, you can do it. I know you can. All right, I guess it's just going to be blurry. Oh, wait, maybe not. Yay. All right, so that's our anchor card. And what I like to do is just allow you to really have your own experience. And then in the follow-up email, I'll let you know what the official words might be. Honestly, that looks like a really good thing to be doing right now. That's all I have to say. I think that kind of speaks for itself. Like, wait, why are we not all doing that right now? Let's get off these computers and go into the waterfalls. And oh, that does look very lovely. Okay, I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot for the next 3 cards. I'm going to pull 4 today. So here we go. And we're just collective. Like, what do we need to know right now? All right. Well, interesting. Interesting. Well, this is okay. I know I should probably show it to you. So interesting. I don't want to show it to you. No. It's the Chariot. And in Chris Ann's deck, very interesting image. Again, really super important to take in whatever details are speaking to you today. Like you could pull this card 100 times or 1,000 times, and there would be new details popping up for you. If you know the Chariot card, you might consider what that means or how you are relating to that right now. We're in a Chariot year. We're in a 7 year. And in some ways, I mean, January was like a whole year all by itself. But the rest of the year seems like it is kind of galloping along here, right? And that is inherent in a 7 year, to be honest. There are these times where there is stillness and pauses, and then these huge, like it moves so fast, so quickly. So yeah, take your time with this one. This is the artwork is very rich. And I'm not at home, so I don't have any of my books or anything with me today, but having an opportunity to connect with the energy of this card. What does it mean to you? And I know I've got lots of story around the energy of the card in a good way, like lots of narrative. So yeah, we'll just see what you see. I do think, just having that we're all on this journey together, that again, like this year is a Chariot year, feels really important as our first card. And then our next card is, we get this one quite a bit. Interesting. Page of Cups. So I'll get it in there and then I'll pull it back. Hopefully it will. Oh, yay, yay. Interesting card, interesting images. So taking a moment to just connect again. What do you notice? What do you feel? What's happening here? Yes, that is a pig flying in the corner, in case you were wondering, over a bowl, because it's the cups, page of cups. Yes, that is a little heart, some little design. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this card. So again, how do you feel when you look at it? It is interesting. I do love her affirmations so much. And I'll be honest, this card, I'm always kind of grateful when I read her affirmation, because what I feel when I see this card is not actually as connected to what she has to say. But I have to stay with how I feel, because that's the message. See, that the message is coming through you for you. So super important. Super important. All right. So there we are. That's the third card. And then we'll pull one more card for today. And then I'll hold them all up so you can see them in sequence. All right. And then we can sort of, what you do then is you kind of pull them all together. Okay, we've had this card every week for weeks. Something's happening with this card. So it's 3 of Wands. And I will just say, in other decks, there are others involved in this card. This one is a singular card. A lot of her cards are, not all of them. But again, taking in how you feel when you see this card. What does it suggest to you? What's the message that's coming through? There's if it keeps showing up, there must be a reason, right? That's part of what happens. So again, as we are creating this sacred container and holding this space, this feels very much like I want to take a journey. I want to be on an adventure with this card. Actually, they all kind of have that element today for me. All right. So first card, again, we have the Daughter of Cups. Next card is the Chariot. So movement. I heard you. I know. Yeah, you cannot. No, not right now. Not right now. And the next card is Page of Cups. So holding space for what this journey is, this magnificent journey, and this energy here. Where is that going? What is that? How is that relating to you? And then finally, this card. So when we look at the tarot and we've got cups, which is emotions and feelings. We have wands, which is creativity, right? Energy, life force. And then we have a major, which the Chariot very much, I know. Yeah, I see that. Hold on. Okay. Little dog sitting this weekend. So we have a little friend for a minute or two until she gets like she needs to move on. So again, cups, feelings, emotions, wands, life force energy, creativity. The Chariot, the energy there, it's very powerful energy. And I think you could go a couple of ways with that. And so I'm just going to let you decide. I mean, I've said that in a Chariot year, there's stillness and then there's movement. So there's both. So we're definitely we are anchored into some pleasure, which I'm going to say is probably the Taurus part of this time. We're moving through a journey, definitely all the time. And Page of Cups is really listening to our feelings on some level, whatever they may be. And Three of Wands, it does feel like this, since this keeps popping up, it just feels like the adventure, the knowing, the connecting with our life force, and being on the edge of something, right? In the Mother Peace deck, actually, the Three of Wands, as I said, there are more people involved in that card, and it's very often looked at as the higher self talking to you and giving you advice. What is it that wants to come through? What's the wisdom that wants to come through? Sweet girl. So having an opportunity to listen to what is that wisdom, what is it that wants to come through. So I think that's a great segue into the astrology, but of course, feel free to go ahead and put any of your thoughts. If you have anything you want to share about the cards, you can put them in the chat. I don't necessarily need to identify you by name, but I might read your comments for the recording, because they're all usually pretty awesome. So as we move into the astrology, I think I'll just start kind of with that pleasure card, because I would say the intensity of this time and pleasure, sometimes when we're going through so much, we don't stop and take the time, right? And in Taurus, we are being reminded to do that over and over and over. Oh, I know, Piper. She's adorable. Isn't she adorable? And she's sound asleep. I mean, I think she just needs to be in the energy with us. That's what she loves. It's just, she loves it. So how we incorporate pleasure through Taurus, how we bring the energy. It was just a butterfly. It was just a butterfly. How we bring that energy into our lives is really key, especially when things are so intense, and things are really going to be a little more intense. I'm just saying, it's not bad for things to be intense. So when I say intense, I'm not like, I'm thinking, by the way, that is a very technical term. I am thinking it's important for us to stay present, to be mindful, and to find where that pleasure might be, where that relaxation, right? Where that relaxation, taking time for that relaxation, taking time, just like the first card, where is that going to be? Because there is a lot lining up astrologically, and there's some really interesting aspects. And so I did want to talk about that for June. Okay, so shall we get in? We'll get into the astrology. All right, I'm just going to bring up a chart so I can remind myself what I want to talk about. First things first, we have a full moon coming in Sagittarius. Now, I personally love the full moon in Sagittarius because I have my moon in Sagittarius. So it is, it's kind of a fun get together. But it is a reminder of possibility, of opportunity, of play. It does have some what we call tense aspects. It's okay. It's all right. There's energy that wants to, again, start flowing. And one of the really interesting aspects about this full moon, I think personally, is that as we are experiencing the full moon, and again, the sun is in Gemini, the moon is in Sagittarius, there's definitely some connections happening around that full moon energy that I want to talk about. So that's my main thing that I want to bring in for today is how do we move through this time and enjoy that full moon? And by the way, for those of you that may not know, Jenna's full moon circle is actually tonight. because she's traveling. And so full moon prep is actually tonight. And I know I can only go for a short time because I already had client sessions booked in. But if any of you need that information for Jenna's full moon circle, just let me know in the chat and I'll make sure to get back to you with that information. I think there are still a couple spots open for tonight. So, and we'll be ready and we'll be prepped. And she does a really good job of really kind of getting the energy. Okay, I'll send it out as soon as I can. Getting this ready for that energy. So again, full moon in Sagittarius, opportunity, possibility, learning, exploring. In some ways, this isn't quite a full moon in Sagittarius card, but it's definitely like we're on the edge of something. We're on the edge of exploring something. And as I said, there are other aspects to this time. And one of them is Jupiter is conjunct the North Node in Taurus. Now, again, my filter, right? I'm seeing, feeling, sensing things from my own filter. All of this is conjunct my own Jupiter. So kind of interesting to be, kind of leaning into that as well. This impacts everybody, but if you have your North Node in Taurus, and the North Node is the horseshoe shaped glyph, do you need to get down? You want to stay here? What do you want to do? Everyone they love you. You're always welcome to stay. Yeah, stay if you want. It's up to you. The North Node is growth oriented, soulful. So where our North Node is very much where we're growing in this lifetime. It's like our soul has said, I really, really want to grow in this way in my lifetime. And for those with North Node in Taurus, so again, not everybody's going to have that. It changes signs about every 18 months or so. If you have North Node in Taurus, part of your life path is to open up to the sensual, right? To the earth. You're probably here to support earth-oriented activities, animals, connection to, it could be houseplants, the garden, farming, the environment, but it can also be luxury, beauty, art, wealth, really earthy things like earth life. Your soul's like, we've been doing this a while. Let's have an earth life. Let's really get into it. So of course, we're all these spiritual beings. So of course your soul is very excited about this, earth life. So some of the parts of having a North Node in Taurus that are sometimes tricky, so we might call that shadow parts, is the boundaries. When you come in with a North Node in Taurus, you have a South Node in Scorpio. And again, there are many powerful positive Scorpio qualities. So you're coming in with loads of intuition, lots of support for diving in deep to the mystery. I mean, wow, think about that. So powerful. And the shadow part is potentially in past lives, too much merging with other people, too much paying attention to others at the expense of yourself. The North Node in Taurus does kind of focus and point you more towards creating like the strong boundary. What do I need? What do I want to move through life with? What do I want to create? So there is this powerful element that exists for all of us around where have things been a little messy, maybe a little boundaryless, and where do I need to create the life that is truly singing to my soul? That's a very Taurus statement. Where can I do more art? Where will I find more beauty? How will I find more sensuality, which is, again, tuning into all of our senses. What are the colors around me? The light, the sounds, really enjoying life. Okay. So that's the node. And so that's how it relates to all of us. Then Jupiter is conjuncting that node at the full moon. Wow. So what does that mean? What that means to me is Jupiter is giving us a really tremendously powerful opportunity to jump into this, which I would hold up, but I can't right now because I'm holding Piper. Jump into that, waterfall of pleasure, and also beauty, art, music, love. I mean, oops, I forgot. Taurus is all about, ruled by Venus. So there's that love piece again. But loving life, loving the earth life. How do I want to jump into that? And, there is a powerful lot of energy with Jupiter anyway. And then when you add the full moon in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, you have a whole other piece of like life just really wants to bring us something really, I would say, delicious. And I want to be really honest about how the energy is going into that full moon. There does feel like there's at times a lot of heaviness because the world is always going through something, and many of us are very sensitive. And so we pick up a lot of the energies around us. So probably one of the best things we can do for ourselves, and I know I'm going to have to go back and listen to this myself. One of the best things we can do for ourselves this week is do a lot of energy clearing. Take these showers, the energy showers, as much as we would take a shower in the morning. I mean, sometimes I want to take a shower twice a day, right? It depends on the day, but we're conserving water. So to be clear, I'm not doing that. But how can I do my energy clearing? How do I want to do that in the morning when I wake up? How do I want to do that throughout the day? And how do I want to do that before I go to sleep at night? So dreams are so important this month. Can I just say, when I say this month, like, I mean, forever, but certainly in the month of June, which we're going into this week, which is shocking. Chariot, thank you very much, racing us ahead. Dreams are super important. So when I woke up this morning, this doesn't happen very often, but it's so telling with Saturn getting ready to retrograde in Pisces. So fascinating. I woke up from a dream where I was crying. Those dreams, oh, yikes. So a lot of emotion, right? So we have several cups cards here. So I'm not surprised about, a lot of emotion. And we definitely have the energy of Saturn starting to get ready to retrograde in Pisces. Oh yeah, there's just a lot. Anyway, so in my dream, I won't forget this. It was fascinating because it really speaks to so much, and just follow your dream. That is your map. Some people don't view dreams that way. Some people just view them as, oh, that's what was happening in my body chemically. And that's fine. I'm not judging that's bad or not right. It's just not how I do things. So when I have a dream, I'm really looking at all the pieces. I'm sure Carl Jung and I would have been buddies. Maybe not though, really, but I like the idea. I like the idea of the work. Anyway, there was water pouring out of a hole in the wall. Now, if that doesn't tell me that I need to process my emotions, I don't know what does. So there was work being done around wherever I was living, and I was yelling for the plumber. Okay, so the plumber shows up, and I don't remember what the plumber said. I'm not sure that it really matters, because whatever the plumber said, I just started crying. And then I woke up. And so what I take from that dream is have a lot of emotions. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Right. Thank you. It is true. The anchor card has a lot of water and a lot of emotions. So I need to process emotion. That's clear. That's my clear signal. Now, I do have Saturn in Pisces, as we have discussed a number of times. And I am, as Saturn gets ready to go retrograde this month or June, then we're all wanting to really pay attention to our dreams. And also what wants to be formed out of the formlessness. So that can go, we can talk about that on so many different levels, but one of them is we do need to process emotion so that we can move with it. What do we want to create from that? Is there something that wants to move beyond us, through us? That, I really, oh my gosh, artists are like so cool because they can take that emotion and move it through art, through visual art. But you can move it. We don't have to be artists to do that. We can write, we can move our bodies, we can draw. We don't have to be super talented artists, but we can still draw and get that energy moving. She says to herself. We can also color. Mandala coloring is one of my favorite things to do, to just kind of let myself work with, the energy of color and that healing. We can create our own mandalas. There's so much we can do. So, sorry, dog hair. Not my favorite. This Taurus is not fond of dog hair in the mouth. Okay. So coming back. So Jupiter conjunct the North Node. Now, the other thing, so I do want to say this, Saturn retrograding in Pisces, Pluto's about to get ready to retrograde back into Capricorn. It won't be back into, once it leaves Aquarius. Actually, it is still, it is getting ready. I think it starts, I'm sorry, I don't have the dates in front of me, but it starts right around the full moon. That retrograde back into Capricorn, also really important because it, again, Pluto, change, evolution. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, that's why I'm here, right? That's why I'm here. Because sometimes you just need to be held when you don't feel great, right? Yeah, do not lick my face though. No, thank you. Setting boundaries. Okay, Pluto is change, transformation, and healing. So there's a lot of healing energy available. When Pluto goes back into Capricorn, we have one last little bit of time in our lifetime, because it won't be back for 248 years in this lifetime. So unless we're going to do some pretty awesome healing, this will be it. What is it that we need to have a little bit more structure around? How can we support the healing that wants to come through? And also, kind of straightforwardly, what else needs to change in the structure? As I always say, I try to leave the more global astrology to those who are really good at predictions in terms of the world and our countries and whatnot. But it's pretty clear on a personal level that if there's something we need to heal, or a structure we need to do a better job of healing, or if there's something that we need to get really clear about and get really practical about, this will be the time. And if there's anything left that's not working. So, example, if I have my business, let's just use this because it's very Capricorn. If I have my business set up a certain way and it's just not efficient or profitable, or it's just not flowing, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn should help me with that. All right, let me just. Pluto will be back in Aquarius in January of 2024. So you have a little bit of time to do this work, which I think is probably a good thing for all of us. So again, if there's something that needs to shift, and I think for myself, I'm just looking at my daily life, my work, and that's very Capricornian. How can I have more flow? How can I have more time for creativity, more time for content development, and be profitable? Again, not everybody may relate to having your own business, but for those of you that do, I'm sure you know, it's kind of the ongoing question. If you're retired, or maybe you're working for someone else, you might even look at how your life is structured. Is that working for you? Where's the flow? The other piece of this is depending on where it is in your chart. And I mean, that's the big, again, the micro piece, like where Piper likes being here, you can tell. I don't know, she's probably like blah, blah, blah. Wherever it is in your chart can give you a lot of information as well. So like mine is in the 4th house right now, the transit. So what's working in terms of home, whether that's a structure or a feeling, either way works fine. Are you getting bored? Do you need to go? You can stay if you want to. All right. So, okay, let's see. I know I'm going on and on here, but I'm trying to kind of give you an overview. So Pluto retrograde, Saturn's going to retrograde. We've got the full moon, we've got Jupiter conjunct. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. All right. So this week is kind of jam-packed, honestly. So this week we have Venus into Leo coming up. And as it's going into Leo, it is opposite Pluto. So there's this tension aspect coming, but I don't see it as a difficult, by the way, I don't see it as a difficult tension aspect at all. I see it more as just there's this powerful energy, and this is all kind of in relationship to Jupiter as well. And so there's just so much energy prompting, at least for me, prompting us toward how am I cultivating my life force? How am I taking care of myself? How am I listening to this bigger picture? How do I want to invest my time, energy, money, love, life force, creativity, etc., into creating a better world? What is my contribution? And how can I have more joy while I'm engaging in all of that? I mean, those are small questions. I mean, we can just know the answer. There is a lot happening. And so the backdrop of the full moon moving into June, there's just quite a bit of energy that wants to move with us, I would say, and help us, support us. I was doing some reading, as I always do, and I know that a lot of astrologers will say, here is the challenge, and here's the remedy. So I think, and those were nice words that I used, by the way, because that's not always how it's framed. But I would say that there are challenges. And what are those challenges? And they're for each of us individually. Again, how am I being in my life? How am I leaning into my spiritual path? How am I contributing? And what is it I want to contribute as we move toward our future? Are you done? Do you want to get down? No? Okay. All right, you can stay. It's fine. And how am I taking what is formless and bringing form to that? How am I offering healing to the structures, or letting them go, releasing them, things that don't work, things that have been constrictive? How do I let go of those? So there's a lot to ponder, and those are the challenges, right? Well, where we have the support is this full moon. Yes, there's some tense aspects, but full moon in Sagittarius, okay? If there was ever a day to play, that would be the day. So that's for those of us here, it'll be meaning West Coast of the United States. It will be Saturday evening. Play, enjoy life, be positive, be optimistic. How can I claim my possibilitarian self? right? How can I do that? What will help me lean into more joy? That is a really key element. And it doesn't say there isn't a lot going on. It just says this is a key element. Yay. So leaning into more joy, we need that. That is so powerful and so healing. How can I laugh more? How can I enjoy my life more? What is it that wants to move through me so I can be a part of the future in a good, positive way? And that's the bigger question, I feel like, underneath it all. So while there are challenges, I feel like the juice, if you will, is the joy. And again, how am I cultivating joy? How am I cultivating my life force physically, creativity, right? How am I cultivating joy? And cultivating joy is a practice. Some people are naturally, I think, gifted there, but I do think, like anything else, cultivating love, cultivating joy, cultivating creativity. I think these take, hold on. Oh, okay. Hi. Okay. I'm back. Cultivating joy is something that we can do each and every day. And, there are joy cultivation practices. You can create your own. I will say, how often do I just sit, close my eyes, and smile? Really, how often do I do that? Not often enough. There is just a deep practice of taking a moment, authentically finding something that I am joyful about, and feeling that in my whole body. That's a very Taurian response. It's feeling in the entire body. And since Jupiter will be in Taurus for about a year, we might as well enjoy it, right? Like, let's get into that. And again, for, you've heard of laughter yoga, right? That's a great thing. Why not try some of that? That could be really helpful. This doesn't bypass the challenges. It just gives us tools to work with them and to move through them and to allow us to embrace what's going on. And so, today, just kind of feeling into the field, and what I was noticing is we all could use a little extra, like, time, I think, to maybe do some gratitude journaling. Like, what is it that I am grateful for right now? I don't think we can ever go wrong with that practice as a tool to get us through what is challenging right now. So if anybody else has any thoughts about, Jupiterian type practices, something that brings us into joy or possibility without bypassing, the acknowledgement is really key. And I think if nothing else, that's what my dream was showing me last night. Like, if the water is pouring through the wall, the emotions need a place to be released. And so the sadness, the grief, the sorrow, whatever it is, there could be anger, there could be rage, there could be all kinds of things. But if you just don't actively and proactively do it, it's going to come through the wall, so to speak. So if anybody has any ideas, you can put those in the chat. I do think that as we prepare for the full moon, as we prepare for June, we're in good hands. Like, the universe has our back, which I really appreciate. Next week, I'm going to have a guest who's been with us before, but it's been a while. And she's offering, let me just look at my calendar. Wow, I'm not going to get it right, but pieces of our soul can sometimes get lost. Let's just put it that way. She's having I think it's on June 9th, a soul retrieval group healing. Anyway, she'll be with us on June 5th to talk about that work and why it's so important. And I guess what I'll say right now, in terms of like the nodes and having Jupiter and the North Node conjunct, which means Jupiter is opposite the South Node. There are times throughout our lifetime, whether you believe in past lives or you don't, but clearly I do, where we might leave pieces of ourselves behind. And that happens in this lifetime. If there's a small t trauma, capital T trauma, that's a pretty easy, I might have left something of myself behind. Sometimes when someone else is going through something and we say things like, oh, my heart goes out to you, or, that's just kind of the phrase that's in my mind right now. Sometimes we literally just kind of a piece of us will go to that person. Understandable, but it's really important for us to kind of regather and reclaim all of those pieces. It helps us have more energy. So if we're feeling like I've been feeling really depleted, and there's reasons for that, that I have, but sometimes depletion can be because we are kind of putting ourselves out there and, like literally just really feeling maybe our own response to what other people are going through. Okay, that's one way to do it. If we don't gather back all those pieces, they just kind of lay out there. Anyway, when my guest comes on next Monday, she'll do a much better job of explaining all that. But it is a practice that I really like to do and really recommend, particularly as we go into June. I think the Jupiter conjunct the North Node, it's brief, but it's there. It really lends itself to calling back those pieces. And so I'm really excited about that. And I'm really looking forward to talking with her next week. There's something else I was going to say about the nodes, right? So in our lifetimes, Jupiter will be conjunct the North Node somewhere every 12 years because Jupiter takes 12 years to go around. But because the node is also moving and the node has a 19-year cycle, in our own lifetimes, wherever our North Node is, maybe we get 1 or 2 conjunctions of Jupiter in our own nodal sign. For those of you that have North Node in Taurus, this is your time. So I'm letting you know. And you can, if you don't know where your North Node is, you can plug it into astro.com, or just shoot me an email later and I can look it up if I have your birth info. If I don't have your birth info, I won't be able to look it up for you. But if I do, then I'll be happy to just send you back your North Node. It is a wonderful time. It's a big week. I'm really encouraging all of us to breathe through it and engage in whatever. I know I'm always so serious, right? So serious. Engage, enjoy, engage in whatever is going to make us feel more alive. And, sometimes that means you need to take a nap. On Saturday, I took a 3-hour nap. It was that kind of week. And to have the luxury, again, that's a very Taurus term, to have the luxury of taking a 3-hour nap was pretty cool. And I needed it. And I think really looking at what do you really need? What do you really need? What's here for you right now? And what are we stepping into, right? What is next for us? So powerful. So powerful. All right. I am going to wrap this up with just a big thank you to all of you. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to turn off the recording, and that recording will go up on YouTube. And for those of you listening and watching later, thank you. We love that you enjoyed time with us. And as soon as I turn off the recording, we have a couple more minutes. If you have some questions and you want to ask those questions, I'm happy to try to respond. So let me turn off the recording and just say, have a great week. And I'll see you at the full moon in some form.